Hello and welcome along to Season 1, Episode 6 of The Head Coach. My name's Daniel and today we're taking a surprise stop at Youth Intake Day and we're also taking on St Albans as we begin our run-in the Vanarama National League South. But first, since you were last with us, let's have a look at what's been happening. And as you've probably already noticed by the league table in the bottom corner of the screen, we're already doing quite well. But let's go and look at our results. So you were last with us for the White Hawk game on the 6th of January. Since then, we've been unbeaten in all competitions. And in fact, we were unbeaten for a little while before as well. So we're on a run of quite a few games now, particularly in the league. What's that? 11 league games since we last lost. So you can see why we're up there challenging for the title. We've been in excellent form. The strikers have been banging in goals galore. You can see we've had a few 4-2s, 5-2s. We've been really playing well. We've been playing good attacking football. And things are looking really surprisingly good for this early on in the challenge. You can see from the league table that we are in second place, just 3 points behind Bath, who were the last team to beat us in the league. They were one of the pre-season favourites, so we can't be surprised. And to be completely honest, if we finish in second place, I will be absolutely delighted. And it will certainly raise my stock as we go on this journeyman save up the leagues and to the top of the football pyramid. The other thing to tell you about on the pitch is we've also got a surprise appearance coming up in the semi-final of the FA Trophy. We're playing against promotion playoff rivals White Hawk, who we'd played in our last episode. It's a two-legged tie. We're not going to show it on camera, but if we get to the final, we will be getting the suit and tie out for the first time in this series. The one slight disappointment is that unfortunately we haven't got any transfers to tell you about. Our director of football seems to have stopped for the season, despite the fact we've still got £700 in the wage budget. I don't know if he's saving himself for all those promotion clauses, just in case. But we'll forgive him for now because he has been so good to us this season. But let's get into the reason why we're here. We've stopped at this date because we've just had our youth intake message and it was surprising to say the least. We've got our normal message with our list of players, the latest prospects to come into the club. We've got one who's been highlighted as one of the potential most gifted players to come through in recent years at the club. And as you know, most of our team started out here, so we're at least matching the standard, which is great. But if we go and have a look at the team, and you know we're basing this on star ratings, we've got two players who have 4.5 star potential and who already have 1 star of ability, and they're both 15 years old. And I'm quite excited when I've gone and had a look at them. So let's have a look at Jack Doherty, who's a centre midfielder, quite an attacking player as well, can play in an advanced role. He's 1 star potential, 4.5 star ability. He's a good passer of the ball. He works hard. The physicals will come for a 15-year-old and so will the mental stats. But technically, he's a set piece taker with good passing ability and we can't ask for much more than that really. There's no reason he couldn't be adapted into a number 10 if need be. And he looks like one hell of a prospect. Unfortunately, with the journeyman style of this save, we probably won't be here long enough to see how he gets on. But maybe we'll bump into him later down the line if he's that good. The second one we've got is Jeff Butler. So he's highlighted by the assistant as a right winger, but he can actually play anywhere across the three. And versatility at this level is an absolute blessing. He does look a fairly promising player. He's got decent physicals. He's also fairly good mentally. Has got a slight deficiency for an attacking midfielder in the technical side of the game. But a good first touch is always a good base. So there's no reason he couldn't improve and become a good player in the future, whether it be out wide or in the centre of the pitch. But as promised, we are going to move on to our game against St Albans as we begin our run-in. We are within 3 points of the lead, and as you can probably tell, I'm getting a little bit excited about our prospects this season. So we'll come back as we get to match day. Okay, we've reached match day, so let's get into today's live game against St Albans at home in the league. We can see Bath are playing relegation strugglers Eastbourne, so we can expect them to pick up 3 points, and we need to do the same if we're going to keep ourselves within touching distance. It seems silly talking about trying to keep up for the title now, but once you're in that position you can't help but be optimistic. So let's have a look at our lineup for today. It's fairly familiar for those of you who have been with us for the previous episode. We've got the hero that is Dan Lincoln in goal, a back four of Davis, Field, Wood and Campbell, a midfield of Wanadio, Widrington, Taylor and Swallow, and a front two today of Pearce and Sikaja. As the one negative, unfortunately, is we've got Lubicic out for a month with a twisted ankle, and then he comes back just as Iceland go on international duty. duty, so we're probably going to miss him for 6 or 7 of the 10 remaining games. Making up the bench today, we've got St Albans, James Crane, Tommy Block, Ross Meldrum and Pat Sirachi. Only one player to miss out on the squad, which is Jimmy Moit. Now let's get into the game. Fingers crossed we can keep the good run going. St Albans are in a playoff position at the moment too, so they're no mugs by any means, but fingers crossed if we can keep ourselves playing at the same rate we have been recently, against a 4-4-2, which we like to see because we've been successful against them, hopefully we'll do well and win the game. But let's give them a team talk. Again, as is customary with every episode, it's a pick up where you left off from the assistant manager, who, by the way, has been given a new contract by the director of football. There's a few new contracts going about now. The only one that hasn't been done is Chad Field, and I'm really worrying about it now. He's the best defender at the club. He's by far a standout for us and has been, alongside Lincoln and Pearce, probably one of the key performers. Another thing to point out, Ollie Pearce, since the last episode, he's made his way up from the club's favoured personnel to icon status. One away from legend, but I'm sure if he can get us up here, he will be pushing towards that at a fast rate of knots. But we're 10 minutes in and St Albans have had the only attacking action of the game, which isn't ideal. They've got another set piece now as it comes to the edge of the box, but they've shot wide from distance. Again, almost every team we've played against seem to be going for these long-range snapshots. I don't know why. They're not successful at this level particularly, but I guess realistically, you do see a lot of players go for the hit and hope, so you can't argue with Sports Interactive for being unrealistic, can you? 20 minutes in now, we still haven't had an attack. I don't know what that was by Davis, the right back, but Field again wins it back. Widrington to bring it away and clears long, but it's straight to them again. But Widrington, fair play to him, he's won it back again to Pearce, who goes long towards Sakaja. He's headed away, but only finds Taylor. Swallow comes down the left now, but lays it back to Widrington, who's been involved quite a lot in this highlight. Swallow goes for the long ball into Pearce, but it's cleared again. But he's got it back again on the left wing. Finds Wanadio, who shoots, but from the edge of the box, he's put it a long way wide. It's a goal kick to St Albans, but we have started to build some pressure now. And here we go again with Widrington on the edge of the box, but it's been cleared away. Can we build another attack? No, that's an awful header away. And now we're 2-on-2. Bradbury coming into the box for St Albans, but again, he's chosen to shoot early, and it's gone high and wide. We have looked fairly promising on the counter, but we still haven't had a shot on target. We've still been dominated, to be fair. But how many times have we said that this season early on as we get a set piece into Field and it's an easy save for the keeper? But so often we've been poor in the first half and come back into games. It shows a lot for the character that we've been able to do it. Brendan Rodgers' favourite word, the character to come back into games. And we have done that countless times this year. But here they come on the attack again. They're floating around 25 yards out. Are they going to go for another one of their ambitious shots, or are they actually going to work it in this time? No, they go for the ambitious shot, and it's been blocked, and we've won a free kick. Is that a yellow? Oh, I thought it was a second yellow for a minute. There's me not paying attention. It's just a yellow, and it's cleared by Lincoln for a free kick. Straight to a St Albans head, and they're clearing away again. They've seemed a bit threatening with the long ball over the top, which is normally our special trick, so I don't know what we're going to be able to do today. Here is Widrington in midfield, booked again as is normal. Sakaja's lost out. That's the difference between him and Lubicic. You haven't got someone who can hold that ball up. Sakaja, to be fair to him, has been brilliant this season. I think there was an FA Trophy game he scored 4 or 5 goals in. But he's just not quite the same in that target man role. Field heads away again. He's been a monumental figure this season at the back. But they are coming forward again, and Bradbury is getting closer. But it is wide again. St Albans having all the possession here, which is a bit of a worry. They've had 7 shots but haven't been able to find the target yet. They've got a cross in there, but Lincoln, as always, is the safest pair of hands in the league. Long kick away. Normally Lubicic would be winning that header, but it has fallen to us on the second ball. Widrington goes long over the top. I was hoping we could take advantage with the 2 quick men together up top, but it's not the case, and they've just hit one of the longest balls I've seen all season. They're building an attack again. We are a bit defensive now. We're camped out in our own half. I know I've said that at some point in every episode, but it seems to work for us. We're solid at the back. We're forcing them into long shots, and again, that one was closer to the corner flag than the goal. We've had our warning from the assistant manager against Bradbury. Nice for it to come before the goal for once. But, I might have spoken too soon here. They come on the counter into the box down the left-hand side. It's come back to the edge of the box to Munluis, and he's put it wide. Bit of a warning sign there. We got caught out on the counter. One of our weaknesses this season has been set pieces in both ends. Defensively, we've conceded a lot of our goals from there, and in an attacking sense, we've been countered quite a few times. I realise it could probably be solved quite easily by me going and keeping an extra man back from the corners, but that wouldn't be quite as much fun, would it? Here they've gone again for the long shot, and they're not even testing Lincoln, which is lovely for us, but I don't understand the mentality. Bath, if we look at that game, they're 3-2 down at home to Eastbourne. I had that as a home banker for them. It's a bit of a surprise. But St Albans are doing the business on us at the moment, and as soon as they take the lead, all of it, Eastbourne's hard work will be undone for us. But here is Taylor. Can we build an attack and take a surprise lead at the stroke of half time? Sakarja's running through now, and he's finishing state of form on camera. He scored tons of goals off it, but as soon as he gets in front of the camera, he is going high, wide, and throw-ins and everything. He is absolutely terrible on camera, bless him. But it is half time. It's still 0-0. We have had the only shot on target, but that masks the fact that St Albans have had almost all the territory and all the attempts. 10 shots in total. But they just haven't made use of it and haven't worked it in. We've got an early chance in the second half, but Pearce couldn't bring it down and it's been taken back to the keeper. We have to say overall, despite the negative performances in the episodes at times, excuse me with the words again, we have had a few defensive negative performances, but we have been extremely solid at the back, and this first season's been brilliant. The long ball's worked again. Out of nowhere, the long ball from the left wing into Sakarja, and he's gone with his standard 1 in 10 brilliant finishes. So we know that his next 9 shots will be going out for either a throw-in or for a goal kick. Pearce has got the ball again to Taylor, who tries to shoot, but it's gone wide. And it looks like, as usual, the goal's given us a lease of life. We've always been poor in the first half, and we've always worked our way into games later on. When Adio clears the ball to Pearce, Sakarja on the counter down the left now. He's running at the defence. He's gone towards Pearce, but it's been blocked. I think Widrington blocked his own man's pass there, and St Albans can bring it away with the long kick to Bradbury. They've brought it down now, and they've got a 5-on-4 there, but Bradbury to Easton. We've got men back quickly, and it's forced them into a long shot, which has gone over. As I was saying before all that 5 minutes of action, we have had a pretty good season. If you'd have said to us at the start, we would have been extremely surprised to be sitting as we are currently top on, I'm guessing his goals scored, as the goal difference is the same. Bath losing 4-2 at home to Eastbourne. We're getting towards substitution time, but this season's gone impressively well. We've not really ever had a season, I know we've not played on camera before, but we've not had a season or a first season that's successful as this in the time I can remember playing this save. We're going to make our first couple of subs. We're going to bring Widrington off for Tommy Block, one of the standard changes, and we're going to give Swallow a rest as well, as he's on a yellow despite his assist. It is his first game back from injury as well, and Meldrum will come on for him. The last change, we're going to bring Elabd on for Wood. Looking complacent's not what we want to see at this level, so we'll make all 3 now, knowing we'll probably regret that in 5 or 10 minutes time. But with 20 minutes to go, we've started to take control of the second half. Tommy Block's got the ball to Meldrum on the edge of the box, who shoots, and that wasn't far away. That was a lovely effort by Meldrum. Great technique at this level, as we've mentioned, but he just hasn't quite got enough to displace Wanadio in the team, who's put a cross in there, and it's been cleared away by St Albans, and they're attacking again down the left. They've gone for the long ball to Bradbury. He's in on goal here. He's worked it into the box this time, but he's shot straight at Lincoln, who, as ever, is equal to everything. Bath have scored 1 goal back against Eastbourne, so they've gone back to the top on goal difference. I know with 9 games to go, it's a bit quick, a bit early on to be going for the goal updates on the league table, but we are getting towards that position where we have to look at it and we were talking like we'd already won the game, and St Albans have levelled it. We can't say over the course of the whole game they haven't deserved it, but in this second half they probably haven't had a shout. With 10 minutes to go, I don't know if there's anything we can do. We're going to go for the ease off tackles. I think he's already come off. I'm not sure why that one was still showing. We'll give them a bit of encouragement. We don't use the touchline shouts often, so hopefully they can have an effect. But we've only got a few minutes to go now, and I think for once we've been the ones who've been hit by the sucker punch. So often it's the roles reversed, as we had in our first episode, or the second episode, the first games of the season, where we equalised from 1-0 down on both occasions. But this time it's happened to us. Bath have got back on level terms to 4-4, and we'll probably nick it late on, knowing our luck. And into stoppage time, it doesn't look like we're going to get the winner. Again, it's only because we're getting excited about the title challenge. If you'd have offered me this at the start of the season, I'd have been delighted. We'd have been expecting to play against St Albans to cement a mid-table position. It is over. It is 1-1. We can't be too disappointed. It's only because of the position we've got into. We're worrying a bit about the results. But overall, it's been an excellent season so far, and we cannot complain about a draw against a strong St Albans side. Let's go and have a look and see what they've said about the game. I'm sure it will still be fairly positive. Yeah, just a denied by the late goal. No complaints. But as it is, we stay in second place, a couple of points off the top of the league. Let's go and have a look at our schedule to see what we've got coming up in the running. We've got a tough run of games, particularly a few midweek games now, before the bank holiday over the Easter period, thanks to that FA Trophy semi-final. I don't know what I'm going to prioritise yet. I'll probably see what happens in the next 2 games first. Providing we don't have any surprises or anything pop up in the meantime, we'll come back to you when there's a meaningful game that could decide a title or a playoff place for certain. If there's nothing before then, we'll come back for the last day of the season at home to Dartford. But that will be it from this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please put a thumbs up on the video. You can subscribe to the channel below for Football Manager content, including a new episode from this save every Monday to Thursday at 4:30 PM. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.